Hello and welcome to today's demonstration. I'm going to be finishing or trying to finish up most of this harp that I've already started painting with acrylic paint. And what I've told you about a little bit about it last time is that I used up a little bit of metallic paint to go over each tuning pin, and then two various types of glitter on the sides and surrounding the harp. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you're repainting something like this is to once you're doing it in between layers, to not move it around too much, because if you move it around too much then you end up with a lot of paint coming off, like here it's coming off. So I'll just go ahead and get started with this. Someone recently asked me why just paint it with acrylic paint? Why not just use spray paint and paint it that way? Well, I didn't want to have to remove each one of these strings, and I thought I would do it this way, since there's various different ways I do my art. And for spray paint, if you spray paint over this, you would you wouldn't be able to sand off the strings, which is why I got a piece of sandpaper here for later when I go to sand down these strings. From a little bit that you seen last time, I was showing you some of where the paint wasn't sticking, that I had to do touch-ups with. And in this demonstration, I've already went over the harp once more before I recorded this video here, so that the color will be much more even. Now what I'm going to do now here is start with some blue paint. Oh, that might be a little too much, but as much as what I needed. Make sure it's wet. Using a soft brush. This is what this is, a soft brush. It'll be easier to spread the glitter on. Now when you do the glitter, you don't want it in a bunch of lumps. It's okay when you're starting out to spread it, because it takes a little bit to spread than what it normally would if you were just using basic paint that doesn't have sparkles in it. I have a bit of a cold, so please bear with me here if you like to learn how to paint your instruments this way. I have been a long absence away from my channel. I know that a lot of the things I've been uploading lately aren't of anything of interest per se to what I want for you guys wise to watch, which would be interesting. But I have been getting with my projects that I have been wanting to work with and do these past several months, and I will be uploading a video on that, giving a more descriptive video of how that's going to work out, because there's different people I have to had to work out things with, and receiving emails and getting the go-ahead between the different places around this area, because it's not only online that these shows will be seen, but will be for public, more in the public eye, as in for different musicians around YouTube and Reverb Nation, a bunch of other networks that will be able to have their music played for free without charge, because I've started working with a few partners here around the clubs areas, and speaking with some of the owners, and they thought it was a great idea what I'm doing, what I want to do for my YouTube channel to help artists with their music to get heard and known and out there. So in between each coats, now I'm back into what I'm discussing, is in between each coat it's going to be a real thin layer. You want to make sure that you don't leave excess paint behind in an area. If you do, it will show up and it will be really blotchy. You could even sort of like dab it in. Dabbing seems to work because it's almost like it has glue in with it to help it stick. I used the metallic gold on the tuning pegs, but I probably might have to go over them one more time. I'll be using another layer of glitter with sparkle glitter on them to bring them out more so that they shine and they're more noticeable. I like to paint my instruments sometimes when before I play them. I have been playing this instrument for quite some time. Not so much last year because just say I let things get the best of me with some people and my interests sort of drifted away whenever you gotta find time in building a relationship between people. So don't always have time for things you do. And doing them, it's all your own mindset. I tend to let things bother me when really I shouldn't. I should just let it go off. It's whatever. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. So these last few months I have been going through really bad migraines from the recent surgery I had, not recent, but recent surgery from 2010. My migraines that I get on a daily basis since then have gotten worse to the point where after the migraine goes away I get super tired. And there isn't much time in between to do so. I can barely look at a computer screen. Half the time that's what I use to do my videos with, to upload them. See, it won't matter that I went across the bottom here a little bit. What I'll do, I keep these sock pieces handy. I cut up an old sock while I was actually bringing sock that I couldn't fit whenever I got it, so I had to just use it for other purposes. I didn't have to throw it away. That's always a great idea to use old shirts and material for whenever you're working with paints. When that is just lost, wipe them. Or to even dab with. I even use cut up little pieces here. And then I staple them together so that I can use them for smudging for whenever I do my charcoal work. So that's always an idea for you guys to do. Why not do these in sections, these videos, so you guys can get a better plant on some of the art I do, and to be more commentary about them, get you know a little bit about myself, and you guys could, tell me a little bit about yourselves if you feel to do so, which is nice. I like to meet people, new people, and it's just sort of like an online thing, especially for online. Like in everyday situation, it's hard to meet people that are interested in the same thing as you are. Like I've gone out to places, gatherings, events and stuff, but not like the YouTube way, just like, in general, things that aren't related to the internet. And it's kind of hard to find people that are interested in the same thing. Like yeah, they like the idea, the concept of it, but I like people that are interested in doing it themselves, I do apologize if my speech is a little bit sketchy. It's because with all the nerve damage, it's a little harder to discuss things and to talk, especially whenever you lose your train of thought sometimes. See, this is really starting to dry quick. find it easier just to relax yourself. No worries. If you worry yourself with these little bit of details that you mess up in between time, you'll end up getting frustrated and end up making more mistakes. So the best thing to do is to just continue on doing parts of it, so you can always come back to it later. Coming back to it, and it should be alright. Like, it's no big deal. See, if this was a drawing, okay, or say a pen work with different artist pens, of course, yeah, that would be, you know, a big mistake because you can't erase that. But even with paint, but you can always cover it up, make it look better somehow, in some way. A little bit more glitter over here. Once this dries up, though, it will blend in a little bit better, so it won't be so thick here and here. I might have to do it if I go over the gold too much on the bottom. I might have to go over the bottom with more of the gold. The inside of this harp I will be painting, of course. I'll be doing it with glitter. It would be a little bit harder to do it in between, especially if I don't want it to get on the rest of the instrument part, especially the sound box. I don't want it to get on the sound box, so I'm currently waiting back some emails through some of the radio stations here to make sure that everything is all a go-ahead for what I plan to do with my new YouTube show, which will be highlighting some of the artists around YouTube that I find or that has been directed to me, because since everybody knows now that, or if you didn't know, that I have been wanting to do this project forever. I've done it before in the MySpace era days. I'm just wanting to get back into it now. Because the more that I think about it, of all the stuff that I've been through these past months, years, whatever, the important thing is to stick to what you want to do. And if you're going to do things, make sure you do them, and to not, like, give up somebody's hopes, you know what I mean? Like, cause I'm sure a lot of these artists are like sitting there, hey, what is taking you so long to do your projects? Well, whatever happened to this thing for supporting these musicians that you said you're going to do? Well, I am going to be doing them. It's just that I didn't have camera. My camera died out on me, and I had to spend the money that for the new camera and new computer equipment on fixing my roof. It decided on a day that I had all the money ready up to purchase the ones that I wanted to buy, and then all of a sudden, bam, on a rainy day my roof starts to leak all over the place. Spent about $800 plus on materials to fix the roof and to do certain things that needed to be done, like sealing cracks and crevices around the house. So you guys can understand, I'm pretty sure, about things that you have to do, especially when it comes to, you know, money-wise. Something always comes up. So trust me, it wasn't my plan not to do these things that I wanted to do for artists. It's just taking me more time and giving me more time to look over other artists as well, and added more. So that's always a plus. That is the plus out of that, really, out of waiting all these months to do my project, is I found even more brilliant artists that have their own kind of like style of music to them. that I thought, you know, wasn't even a thing yet. Remember, I do apologize if my voice is a little sketchy because of I have a cold. I've been trying to get rid of it, and it's not easy to do a video and while you have a cold, but I'm sure there's tons of YouTubers out there that do so. Spread that a little bit. Make sure I got that spreaded. Spreaded. Is that even a word? It's always important to go and make sure that you push down all the spots you see, and try to make it so that there's not so much there, because it dries pretty quick. Since I have the lamp on it, it's going to dry pretty quick. The polyacrylic, which will be a pain to do, one, because since I'm not taking off each of the strings, I'll have to be very careful to go in between. I'm probably going to do these videos in sections, so you could either skim through or just watch the full thing. I might even do commentaries where I have the project sped up to the point where it's a short video and just do commentary over it. Just let me know in the comments, what would you like to see, a commentary, or you would just like to see the project done by itself, so you get a little bit more of either me talking, you know, discussing things as a person, because I haven't really been able to do that yet on YouTube, other than like a few videos here and there that I've deleted over time because I wanted to change how the project was. It's I don't know, it just, after reviewing some of the videos that I did on previous projects I was discussing about, I seemed like I was kind of like scared or something. Like, really I wasn't. It was just awkward, and having the camera there and getting the good lighting. Lighting is always key to anything, of course, that you do whenever it comes to video-wise. You want to make sure you have a decent lighting, because you want your viewer to one thing about doing an instrument is spreading over large amount of areas. It could be a pain because you want to use as small brush as you can. If you use a bigger brush will spread it out, the glitter out too far, and you want it, the glitter kind of even when you're doing this. And since I'm using a soft brush, it's, even though it should be a little bit better to, or easier to do, I should say, to spread the paint evenly, sometimes it doesn't work out for spreading the paint. So you have to like improvise and try to work with it. It's kind of like working with clay, this kind of paint. There we go. Make sure you get all the crevices out a little bit. come back around. Ooh. Between the areas. It's always also good to have a heat source around. Having a heat source really speeds up the process of drying time, and depending on what room and room temperature that you have your house. I find it easier to have the room at least 75 degrees. Because normally what I would do, I wouldn't have put this much on my brush going in between. I would have thinned it out a lot more, but since I'm trying to cover a lot more in a short amount of time, make sure you get the edges really good. Those edges, if you do those edges real nice, you have it stand out on the edges. These tuning pins I will be doing a different color, so it helps me keep an eye on which of the strings I'm on.